We have seen how a single gram of sugar behaves inside our blood vessels, and how a single zloty of tax behaves inside a household budget. But where does this sugar actually come from? To answer this, we must zoom out from the microcosm of human biology and economics to the vast, macro-environmental networks of global agriculture. The global sugar market is dominated by three agricultural titans: Brazil, India, and Thailand. Together, these three nations collectively dictate the global supply balance. But sugarcane is an incredibly water-intensive crop, requiring consistent moisture through its critical vegetative and grand growth phases. This makes the entire global sugar economy highly vulnerable to climate anomalies, none more powerful than El Niño. El Niño is a periodic warming of sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern equatorial Pacific. By rewriting atmospheric circulation patterns across the tropics and subtropics, it introduces massive climate risks into soft commodity markets. In 2026, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration issued a formal El Niño watch, with advanced models predicting the emergence of a strong El Niño pattern by mid-year, persisting through the end of 2026. For sugar traders and economists, this is a direct, material, and highly asymmetric threat. El Niño's environmental impacts are not uniform, they hit the major sugar producers in completely opposite directions. In India and Thailand, the textbook El Niño pattern brings intense heat and severe rainfall deficits, particularly during the critical monsoon season. When the monsoon rains fail, sugarcane fields are starved of essential moisture during their peak growth stages. This agronomic pressure limits cane development, lowers the sucrose content in the stalks, and drastically compresses the millable tonnage at harvest. In Thailand, the second-largest global exporter, water deficits in the northern and northeastern growing regions directly translate into a contraction of export availability, leaving importing nations in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa scrambling for alternative supplies. Meanwhile, in Brazil, the world's undisputed sugar powerhouse, El Niño produces the exact opposite climate expression. In the vital center-south region, which accounts for the vast majority of Brazilian cane, El Niño brings not drought, but excess, heavy, and sustained rainfall. While this sounds beneficial for crop yields, in practice, it creates an operational nightmare. Excessively wet fields stop heavy harvesting machinery from entering the plantations, disrupt road logistics, and severely compress the active crushing window. The cane physically exists in the fields, but it cannot be cut, transported, or crushed on schedule, leading to quality deterioration and a final sugar output that falls far short of its agronomic potential. To complicate matters further, sugarcane in Brazil behaves as what traders call an optionality asset. When a load of cane arrives at a Brazilian mill, it is not destined for table sugar alone. Instead, modern mills can dynamically adjust their processing lines to divert the cane juice toward either sugar production or ethanol distillation. This decision is driven entirely by energy market margins. When global crude oil prices are elevated, ethanol becomes highly profitable. If El Niño-induced rains disrupt the crushing season at the exact same moment that attractive energy margins are encouraging mills to prioritize ethanol over sugar, the global sugar supply faces a double squeeze. In a market with no cushion, the convergence of climatic disruption and biofuel optionality can tip a fragile global surplus into a massive deficit, sending shockwaves through global food supply chains.